में नहीं जा रहा।
अरे let him speak.
अभी रिकॉर्ड में इनका नहीं जाएगा, सुप्रिया जी का जाएगा।
Sir, I just request 2 minutes of indulgence of your time of a topic which is not related to the budget. With your permission, sir, I will try to read something in Marathi. कोणते कपडे घालायचे हेच ठरवणार, काय खायचं हेच ठरवणार, कुठे जायचं कधी जायचं हेच ठरवणार, काय बोलायचं काय नाही बोलायचं हेच ठरवणार, काय शेअर करायचं काय फॉरवर्ड करायचं हेच ठरवणार. मग या हुकुमशाही म्हणायची तर आणीबाणीचा राग हे आमच्यावर काढणार, यांच्यावर टीका केली की राष्ट्रद्रोहाचा खटला टाकणार, लोकशाहीसाठी आंदोलन केलं तर आम्ही आंदोलन जीवी म्हणून हे आम्हाला हेटाळणार. लोक हो, आता तुम्ही काय करणार, श्वास कोंडलाय, अवस्था संकट आपल्या दारात येऊन वाट पाहणार, यावेळीच तुम्ही विरोध करणार का उभे राहणार याच्या विरोधात. सर, I stand here and I asked for your indulgence just for 1 minute to talk something which is not related to the budget. The Honorable Finance Minister is a very dignified lady. I am a woman. We both have daughters and we are very proud. I'm sure she's very proud of her daughter and I'm also very proud of my daughter. So what has happened unfortunately in Karnataka, and my young friend I don't think is in the house right now from Karnataka, who spoke exceptionally well. I may have disagreement of views, but he did speak very well. I want to bring to the notice that there is a gentleman, can't call him gentleman, member of the MLA of BJP from Karnataka has today said, rapes increasing because of women's clothing. Sir, I repeat, rapes are increasing because of women's clothing. हिजाब पहने तो बीजेपी को दिक्कत है, कपड़े दूसरे पहने तो भी उनको दिक्कत है, मॉरल पुलिसिंग भी करेंगे और थॉट पुलिसिंग भी करेंगे. I actually urge the honorable, because the honorable minister is elected from Karnataka, I would ask her for justice. I hope she will intervene. Whoever that MLA is, this must be condemned and I request this entire house. सबके घर में बीवी है, सबके घर में बच्चे हैं. We should not tolerate any such thing and unanimously this house must condemn. If any man is saying that women get raped because of their clothes, I think it's shameful, it's condemnable. We have daughters, we are very proud. Look at the example of our honorable finance minister. She wore a beautiful Sambalwari sari on the day she gave the budget. How dignified she looked from that Orissa. It was a beautiful handloom sari. We all take pride in our Indian clothing. How does it matter? We don't judge each other on clothing. As a matter of fact, I want to compliment her because they were increasing handloom to 12% GST. She brought it down to 5%. I thank you on behalf of all the weavers of this country, which I am very proud of. We are very proud of our Indian traditions. But if any man in this country is going to demean women like this, we all in one voice, all the members must raise it and say no to this, sir. Thank you. Sir, another small point. I think the young member is not there. I just want to put the record straight. He spoke very aggressively against dynasty, which is okay, he has every right in a democracy. I just want one small question to ask you. Who is Ravi Subramanyam? He's a BJP MLA from Karnataka. Does he know him? And if he knows him, by any chance, are they remotely related to each other? But I am very proud of whose daughter I am. I am not ashamed about it at all. I am proud in the house that I was born in. But I want to ask him that what is his story. And I just one small anecdote. Pritam Munde, Poonam Mahajan, Hina Gavit, Raksha Khadse, Sujay Vikhe Patil, Jyotiraditya Scindia, who also is now a minister, sir, Piyush Goyal, Dharmendra Pradhan, all my very good friends. I am very proud of them. I am all part. Just the common thing I have with them, we were all born in political families and I am not ashamed to be born in a political family. I am very proud to be born to my parents. Just to come back to the budget, the fiscal, one more small point that the young man made, that he said that there were no businesses created pre-Modi ji era, post-Modi ji era. Just to remind him, he talked about Bangalore. Wipro, if I stand corrected, sir, is probably also in Bangalore. Infosys is a very large company in India, also happens to have some presence in Bangalore. I am very proud because we have them in our state. The big vaccine they talk about, sir, the vaccine company of Poonawala's, who this government has given award to, I think Padma Vibhushan or Padma Bhushan he has got. That also company comes from my district. That man started from zero. He went to school with my father, so I know the entire background. So these are all companies: Wipro, Cipla, Infosys, Kirloskar, Ambani, Bajaj, Walchand Group, Kalyani, Firodyas, Poonawalla, Doods are all companies in the last 50 years who have done and contributed. So please don't run down these families. They have contributed to wealth generation, not centric, but to everybody, and they have created wealth and they have created jobs and have influenced our lives. So let's not demean all these families who started from nothing. Now to come to the main points of the budget, sir. Sir, in the fiscal deficit, I still remember Arunji here. We used to very keenly hear. We were much younger members, very inexperienced. And we used to take points from all of them when they read the budget, be it Pranab Da, be it Chidambaram ji, after that Arunji. And there was this FRBM Act which Atalji's government had brought in. And Yashwant Sena, Atalji's government, right? Rudy ji, thank you. And I still remember, and a lot of times we all discuss, governance is about continuity. There are good things from this government which we are proud to take. And we are happy that we could continue them and deliver superior results for this nation. So when we did this FRBM Act, your government did, we continued it for 10 years, where 3% was decided that would be the fiscal deficit. So 6.9, I'll come to that, uncle. 6.9 is what she has agreed to come to now. Now, if it's from 3% raised to 6.9%, have we agreed? Because if it's a law which we have all continued, I'm not such a finance expert. So this 6.9 is what we have achieved as our fiscal deficit. So have we made those changes in Parliament when a land, and Arunji had committed to keeping at 3%. So just for my inexperience in finance and very limited knowledge of finance, I need to know, because this is connected to the 1 lakh crores which has been given to the states. So 1 lakh crore, I'm grateful to you for giving it to all the states. But I have a small question, since my knowledge on finance is not so good, sir, that if 3% of this fiscal deficit, will it be same thing applicable to the states when they borrow money? Because you have given this 1 lakh crores to the states. Now, most of these programs which will go through will be center driven. Now, be it all Kendriya Yojanas, PMGSY, which again you have changed the thing. Now it's 60-40 we have. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, PM Awas Yojana, ICDS, everything what the center wants to implement in our states, they will decide how much we spend, how much it. I mean, Nishikant ji is sitting here, he was singing the praises of the railway that has come to Godda. We are very happy. If he says it's an aspirational district, it's doing better, we are happy for him. Congratulations. But my friend here, Krishna, who's sitting here, was saying that 6,000 crores his state needs to give for railways. They don't have that kind of money. So by giving this 1 lakh crore with this fiscal deficit, with application of the FRBM Act, and with these pushing all the center programs, will this 1 lakh crores really help all our states? Is my question. If you could kindly in your reply explain that how will it help our states? Please.
Madam.
To the extent that I'm responding now, you don't cut the time given to Honorable
Thank
Member
you. That's
Supriya
very kind of you, ma'am. Thank you.
I will elaborate during my reply, but because it is important for a member to, and this was mentioned in the budget, but because it's important, I thought I'll intervene so that everybody else can also benefit from it. The 1 lakh crore which is being given to states, sir, because we want to speed up infrastructure and capital expenditure, is over and above what the states have been given under their borrowing limits. So it's not going to affect their borrowing limits, one. Second, there is no interest on this amount. There is no interest being charged because center is giving it, and center is giving it for 50 years. They don't have to return it till before 50 years. And if everything is fine in terms of inflation and otherwise, even otherwise, after 50 years, what would that 1 lakh be? So keep that in mind, sir. That is one thing which I want to convey through you to the honorable member. Second, when the state is being given the money, it is more with an intention that several of the projects which they would want to complete, they can use this amount in total. We are not saying we give matching grant, you give this much. This is exclusively for you to use fully. So I thought it was a way in which we are supportive of the states, and therefore we've given it. So one, it doesn't affect your FRBM. Two, it doesn't give you any interest burden. Three, you can use it for any project which you want to do. Finally, sir, this question of FRBM, 3%, Arunji, we honor all that. But that very same FRBM Act has a provision that you can, in case you breach it, you can always come to the House with a deviations statement. Any government which breaches it, and I think I can probably say it off the cuff, subject to correction, during the UPA government, several times it was breached, and since you were alert, you would come to the Parliament and say, sorry, deviation, and seek the Parliament's indulgence on it. So now, deviation and reaching 6.9 this time, I would wonder if there's any member in this House who will have an objection, and least of all, would Supriya have an objection for it? Years of pandemic, 1.5 years, now nearly 2 years. And the only call that I've had from everybody was spend, spend. That's what is going to give the stimulus. Well taken, we spend. It showed a difference. We are spending now, it will show a difference. And naturally, you will breach the 3% fiscal deficit. And therefore, we go to 6.9. And I don't want anyone to think that, oh, this is unusual. Pandemic was unusual. And therefore, 6.9 is a responsible fiscal deficit. And in fact, that is a kind of fiscal deficit where we've tried to do enough balancing between keeping up spending and being fiscally prudent. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. सुप्रिया जी का रिकॉर्ड में जाएगा.
Thank you very much. So, does it applicable to the states? If she could kindly in a reply let, I am happy to wait very patiently for what she has said, and I appreciate thank you very much, ma'am, for being so indulgent. The other question was about GST compensation. Today, my state has 28,365 crores of GST compensation pending. So I would like to request the Honourable Minister that if they are indulging and giving us so much flexibility, I have two questions. When will all our GST money come? Point number one. And point number two, with this, will 6.9, our borrowing, also will this help us, if you could indulge the states in more borrowing? Because I'll give you a small example. Now, Pune-Nasik semi-high-speed railway, the project has come. We have tried to put some money together, but there's no mention in this budget. So we don't know where we really stand in such a big project. The same thing is applicable to all the cesses. Now, I want to make this humble request. Mehtabji also talked about the cess. Now, cess is something which actually takes away from the states. We have no problem if they take it for health, education. I understand.
Kindly
Just
conclude.
2 minutes, sir. Just two small points I will make. I understand that I don't have that kind of time. But just two very small points, that if you're using health, you're taking cess for roads. Look at CRF as an example. CRF was in the railway, in the road transport ministry, which is moved now to finance, which I've really not understood why this change was made. But if this cess is collected, is it really all improved? And the CAG report, I'm not claiming, the CAG report said a lot of the cess collected is actually not used. Like if it's collected for education, it's not used for education. If it's raised for health or roads, it's not used exactly for that head, which I don't want to make an allegation against anybody, but this is mismanagement of monies. Especially, I appreciate what she's saying. It's been a misappropriation of funds. So I'm not making an allegation, Nirmala ji, please don't get me wrong, but I just need to know, because we are in a pandemic and states are under a lot of pressure. And last one small point, I'll keep the rest points for my next speech, madam. The Honourable the Prime Minister yesterday talked about coal, and he was very kind enough. I still remember his speech, and that for me is a very painful topic, because I still remember when we sat on that side and they were on this side, they really talked about coal mismanagement, and I was really deeply pained that, is this really true? Eventually what happened is another story, sir. But when we talk about coal, I still remember this government saying that 3 lakh crores is the money they will raise. I corrected stand. Yesterday, the Honourable Prime Minister, in his speech in Rajya Sabha, said that in all the coal, I would have actually spoken in detail, but I'll just make it as small and crisp as I can. They said that they have managed to raise only 14,000. Now, where is 3 lakhs? Where is 14,000? My number could be even wrong. But they've not been able to manage, they've not been able to generate the kind of money in coal auctioning when they are. So when we did it, it was considered as corruption.
Thank
when
you.
you do it and don't get the money,
Thank you
it's
very
okay,
much.
which is slightly unfair. So I think we're all for transparent and fair system. There is much more I wanted to actually
Thank
speak
you.
beyond coal about smart cities. So much money is in touch, but maybe I can.
Thank
speak
you very
about
much.
it next.
Thank you.
But I appreciate her efforts during the pandemic. All I'm requesting her is the states are all, I don't want to use the word broke, but under a lot of financial stress. We need the big brother to support us.
Thank you.
We are
Thank you
willing
very
to
much.
walk an extra mile. I hope you walk an extra mile so that we grow India together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shri Pradyot Bordolai ji.
Sir, in November 2021, the Honorable Prime Minister visited Ayodhya, and on that occasion, 12 lakh diyas were lit in Ayodhya. But then, in the aftermath of the event, when the dignitaries and VIPs left, moments after that, hundreds of women and children came out